Dropping the ball, leaving it on the ground. Fumbling is what it used to be known as. Boniol to kick it off.
And I think that's affected his confidence. That's the thing. You know, when you drop one, then you start getting concerned about the next one, and then you overplay that one, and then you fumble that one, and pretty soon if you can just catch the ball, it becomes a big play.
Chris Boniol to kick it off. He was the NFC's most valuable player last week. Good kick. Out of the end zone is Andre Coleman. Down coverage good. Bill Bates, Greg Briggs. Gail Gilbert to open at quarterback. And those of you who watched Detroit and Green Bay, you haven't missed much at Jack Murphy Stadium. Gail Gilbert will start at quarterback in place of Stan Humphries. The offensive line, a big one in front of him. Swain, Moten, Courtney Hall, the fine center, Isaac Davis, and Stan Brock. Natron Means, Sean Jefferson, Martin Young, and Alfred Papuno. The tight end, or H-back, whatever you like to call him. Gail Gilbert's fourth career start. Gives to Means. Means gets away from Tolbert. Natron Means gets outside, gets about 8. Dixon Edwards finally brought him down. Here's the defense that faces that fine running back Means. Let Maryland and Tolbert. Might see some changes there if San Diego stays with 3 tight ends. Miles, Jones, and Edwards, the linebackers. And the secondary, Larry Brown and Clayton Holmes, the corners. Brock Marion and Darren Woodson, the safety men. 2nd and 1. Means got 9 on his first carry. The Chargers would be happy with that. Second carry. Don't think he got the first down. Russell Maryland made the stop.
Well, 2 of the things that Bobby Ross, the Charger head coach, told us yesterday is they want to be able to do is, one is run at the defensive ends of the Cowboys. That'd be Charles Haley and Tony Tolbert. He thinks that you can wear them down. And then with the first down run, he wants to average more than 4 yards per carry. He says that's Natron's average anyway. And if he can just do that on first down, they'll be okay.
Means did get the first down, as you saw. Chargers from their own 25. Gail Gilbert outside. Incomplete. Sean Jefferson, the intended receiver, he stumbled, and Gilbert's pass went over his head.
Yeah, that's the thing with a quarterback like Gail Gilbert. We're saying he's been in this league for 10 years. Been a backup at Seattle, been a backup with the Buffalo Bills, and a backup with the San Diego Chargers. This is only the 4th game he started, so he says, I've seen it all. I've seen everything you have to see. He said, now I just have to go out and do it.
And this is what you wait for. Here's Gilbert back to throw it again. Up the middle to Ronnie Harmon. Harmon near the 40-yard line of first down for the Chargers. Godfrey Miles made the stop.
Well, Ronnie Harmon is one of those guys, if you look here, he's the guy that comes in for the Chargers on passing downs. He's the back out of the backfield. Natron Means really doesn't catch passes. Ronnie Harmon does. And in that position, coming out of the backfield, or that third down running back, one of the best in all of football.
And has been for a long time. His 10th NFL season. Gilbert with a first down. Gives to Means. Means has some room. To the 45. Right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio. A packed Murphy Stadium, no scores yet, but the Chargers have moved the ball well. Means again with room to midfield. Natron Means goes about 245, but has good speed.
Well, he's going to run in here, and he gets good blocking here. Boom, boom, good lead in here. And they really get the movement on the Cowboys. You see the drive, the lead. Look at that hole for Natron Means. The first guy that hits him is a safety. And when you can get past the line and the linebackers without getting touched to get right to the safety, it can be a long day.
Excellent block by Swain. Here's Gilbert back to throw. Rushed by Tolbert, but gets loose. Pass is knocked away at the last second by intended for Jefferson by Clayton Holmes. Good play by Holmes.
And that's what they wanted to do. They were going to go play pass, and then they were going to work on Clayton Holmes. Here's Clayton Holmes, number 47. They wanted to go play pass and work on him deep. If there's someone they think they can beat in this Cowboys secondary, it's Clayton Holmes. Jefferson has him beaten right there. The ball is just a little short, and that lets Clayton Holmes catch up to it.
He made up some ground, but he was behind. He was beaten. 2nd and 10. Good play by Clayton Holmes. They test him again. Andre Coleman made the catch. Got away from Holmes. Gets the Charger first down.
You know what they're doing here? The Dallas Cowboy defense is letting Gail Gilbert get confident. Because I don't care if you've been in the league 10 years and you haven't played, then it's going to take time. Now watch this pattern here. This is an option pattern where you start in, then up the field, and now you can go in or out. When you see the defenders playing you to the inside, then you run a quick out. Now, of course, part of that was a pattern. Part of that was a missed tackle.
Gilbert again back to throw it. Pass picked off by Larry Brown. He just underthrew him, and Brown made the pick.
He looked like he just threw the post pattern to Larry Brown. It looked like he was running the pattern instead of the guy that was running the pattern. You see Larry Brown is up here. He's going to come from the left side of the screen. See, it's a bootleg. You fake one side, then they're going to throw back. He's going to throw the post right up in there. Yeah. He looked like he thought that his guys were wearing white jerseys. See, this is Sean Jefferson. He's running a post pattern. He stopped his post pattern. See what happened is he stopped the post pattern and went up because Larry Brown was playing inside of him. And Gail Gilbert still threw it like he was going to the post.
And led Larry Brown perfectly. Novacek in motion. Aikman brings the Cowboy offensive in and out. Aikman's going to be tackled for safety. Ruben Davis just tackled Troy Aikman for a San Diego safety. Welcome those of you who watched the Eagles and the Giants. Here's what happened just now.
Ruben Davis is a big load. He's right over the center. You see him, he's going to come right up the middle. That was a little stunt there. And he started on a twist. Then comes up the middle. Watch Ruben Davis. He's right here. He's going to start and then come around this side. Lee comes to this side. See, it's a little twist there in the middle. Boom, they take him on. He was kind of blocked that way by Nate Newton. Blocked right into that.
Safety. And San Diego leads Dallas 2-0. Ruben Davis tackled Troy Aikman in the end zone. Now they'll get the free kick from the 20, but San Diego, importantly, will get the ball back. And they should get it in pretty good shape.
And a free kick, you usually have your kickoff coverage team. You see the Cowboys right down here doing it from the 20-yard line. It's usually your punter punting the ball because it's a free kick. Like you say, you can either kick it off or you can punt it. So you usually have your punter do it along with your kickoff coverage team. Then the return team is usually the kickoff return team along with the punt returner fielding the ball.
John Jett back to punt it. Andre Coleman deep for San Diego. Jett. Good kick. He's on a roll. Back to the 11. And hit at about the 27 by David Lang first.
Right, that was a heck of a free kick because after you get a safety, you usually figure getting the ball back around midfield, and the Chargers are going to start with the ball around the 25-yard line. That was a heck of a kick.
It really was a rocket. Dave Adolph.
He's talking to his defense down there. And one of the things the Cowboys were worried about is that big defensive line of the Chargers and those two inside guys, Ruben Davis and Sean Lee. They were the guys that ran the stunt that got the safety.
Davis got to Aikman. Gail Gilbert, the quarterback. Papunu is the move man. Nathan Means inside the 30. Stopped by Dixon Edwards. 2-0 San Diego.
Yeah, one thing that the Cowboys haven't done is they haven't knocked Gail Gilbert down yet. And I think the longer you let a backup quarterback stay clean, the more confidence he's going to get.
Second and 7. Means lined up about 8 yards deep behind Gilbert. They start Jefferson in motion. Gilbert with time. Completes the pass for a gain of about 3. Jefferson, the receiver.
Yeah, this offensive line is doing a good job. Just watch the pass protection. Again, I think the best friend of a quarterback is a good running game, and the second best friend is good pass protection. And look at the time that Gail Gilbert had on that play.
Tolbert backed out, so they had a 3-man rush, and they didn't come close. 3rd and 4. 3 wide receivers. Gilbert back to throw, flag on the play, pass incomplete. Tony Martin had to stretch.
Yeah, but I think that penalty is going to be against the Cowboys. You know, one thing that Gail Gilbert does, and he was talking about it yesterday, is he has a cadence. He'll give a hard count anytime he gets in that, like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, you know, where by getting a penalty, you can get a first down, and he just did it to him.
5-yard penalty. The yardage will be enough for a first down.
Enough for a first down. See who jumped.
Well, it's going to jump right in here because you see, again, it was that cadence, and, you know, that's where you give a hut and then a hut, you know, and then you give that hard count and usually go on one more. If you're going on 2, you add one more to it and go on 3 and hope your own guys don't jump.
Gilbert gives to Mean. Again, the forward surge. He's stopped by Tony Tolbert, but he got about 3.
You know, part of that is they're pulling their tackle, their off tackle, big hairy Swain. And part of that stuff that's making that play go to that right side is Swain, because Natron Means can get right in behind Swain and just get that little push. Look at that face mask on Harry Swain. That's the biggest face mask in football.
That's a big cage there. 2nd and 8. Means again. Stopped by Jones. I'd like to welcome those of you watching Minnesota Tampa Bay, the Bears at Jacksonville, to Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 2-0 San Diego. We're in the first quarter with 8:15 left. 3rd and 4, San Diego ball. Gilbert out of there will get the first in Dallas territory to about the 47-yard line. Bates tripped him up.
That's not a bad move by a quarterback. He just puts his head down. You're going to see a stun here, a stun here. They get Gail Gilbert here, and then they got the rush coming. He sees a lane and just goes whap right through it. He just puts his head down and runs through it. But you see the stunt there in the left, and now he sees it. He sees the hole right there, puts his head down, and just runs right through it. That's the way the fullback used to tell him, just put your head down and run through the hole.
When you see the stunt?
Yeah. He just put his head down and ran right through the hole, put his head up, then he put his head back down again.
Mean on first down, chased out of bounds. Here is the safety, the only scoring so far. Aikman back to throw after an interception by Larry Brown.
And that was big Reuben Davis. The left defensive tackle came around on a stunt straight up the middle. One of the things that the Cowboy defense wanted to do was spill Means to the sideline. They just did that on that last play.
2nd and 12. Gilbert back to throw. Hit by Maryland. The pass is going to be recovered. The fumble, if it is a fumble, by the Cowboys, Russell Maryland. Shante Carver also involved. He's got the ball.
If his arm was going forward, it's a pass. If his arm wasn't going forward, it's not a pass.
Well, they're coming off. It must have been a fumble.
That's a fumble. What they're saying is his arm wasn't going forward. He's hit by Russell Maryland right there, and that's right. Russell Maryland got his left hand up there. The arm wasn't going forward, so that's a fumble and a recovery by the Cowboys.
San Diego Zoo, of course, one of the most renowned anywhere.
How'd you like to come up, break the huddle, be a center, and look at that as a nose tackle?
I wouldn't be a center very long. Here's Aikman. Just does get it out of there, but does to Emmitt Smith, who's hit immediately by Sean Gale. He's really been playing well.
Yeah, this is the thing that really kills coaches. Look at this. 16 giveaways have resulted in 55 points. That's the second most in the NFL. And we're talking to Bobby Ross. He said that's the thing. You know that we're not getting the turnovers. We're giving the turnovers. And he said we're doing it in every area. No, there's not just one guy or one area. We're just turning the ball over.
They just did it again. That's how Dallas got the ball where they've got it. Here's Aikman. Irving. At about the San Diego 24, shoved out of bounds by Terrence Shaw.
I'll tell you what, you talk about a rookie. Terrence Shaw is a rookie. You talk about a guy having to play a tough position, playing corner in this league, and then you get out there and you have to go against a guy like Michael Irvin.
There's the Dallas offensive line. Big and good. Emmitt Smith, Darrell Johnson, the runners. Kevin Williams, there's a question about him, whether he'd make it or not, but he has. That's Kevin Williams in motion. Aikman, Irving, inside the 5 to about the 3. Terrence Shaw again.
That's who they said they were going to work on, is the rookie corner, Terrence Shaw, with Michael Irvin.
Here's the Charger defense. Irvin, by the way, has tied the club mark for consecutive games with a catch. Had been held by Tony Hill. The linebackers led by Junior Seau, Gibson and Bush, and in the secondary, Shaw, Orlando, Sean Gale, and Dwayne Harper, the other cornerback. First and goal, Dallas at the 4.
And those two passes were both against Terrence Shaw.
Ron Stone as an eligible receiver. That's Emmitt Smith, and he didn't get anywhere.
They found something out here in this left. Here's Michael Irvin here. And again, he's going against Terrence Shaw. This is the second one in a row. And you see, he just comes off. Michael Irvin is so big and so quick, catches the ball so well, uses his body so well. And he and Troy Aikman are almost perfect together.
Almost.
The only thing is Michael Irvin's shirt tail's hanging out today. I have no idea why.
I've never seen it. Emmitt Smith again. Flag on the play. Emmitt gets in the end zone for a touchdown, but a penalty marker down.
That was a heck of a run. You know, you get in there behind that Larry Allen, the right guard, and Eric Williams, the right tackle. That is some power over there. Emmitt Smith still celebrating in that end zone.
Dick Hantak.
Offside. Defense number 97. Line up in the neutral zone. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Yeah, here's where you want to run the ball, right here. Here's Larry Allen. Here's Eric Williams. To me, two of the best offensive linemen in the game. And look, they double team. And when they double team, I'll guarantee you, you're going to get knocked backwards, you're going to get turned over, and you're going to get put right on your back.
Romeo for the extra point. It's good, and Dallas has the lead. There's a flag on the extra point. Emmitt Smith, by the way, is now the Cowboys' all-time touchdown leader. That was his 87th. He and Tony Dorsett had been tied at 86.
Emmitt Smith keeps every one of those footballs.
Defense number 40. Lined up in the neutral zone prior to the snap. Extra point is good. We will penalize 5 yards on the kickoff.
Well, that was an ugly series for the Chargers. They have the fumble, and then after that, they have 2 penalties. Emmitt Smith gives it. You block like that, man, you can spike it for me.
And I'll go get it. Stadium in San Diego. Dallas 7, San Diego 2. Aikman tackled for a safety, but led the offensive unit back quickly, and Emmitt Smith scored the touchdown. Coleman deep for San Diego. Bonio's kick is going to be high and short this time at the 7. But the coverage is good again. David Lang, second time he's been down. Big Eric Williams. What a block he got on that touchdown by Smith. And 2, the Cowboys lead the Chargers at Jack Murphy Stadium. San Diego's first 2 possessions, an interception and a fumble. And that's the thing that's haunted them all year long. Turnover. Whistles blow, flag on the play. Gilbert tried to go on a quick count, but I think maybe Harry Swain beat him even to the quick count.
Ball start. Offense prior to the snaps. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah, I've always said that Charles Haley really causes more havoc with guys that have to block him than anyone. I mean, you know that if you don't get a jump on Charles Haley, then you're not going to get him blocked. And that's exactly what Harry Swain did. He's so concerned. He sees that 94 there. He knows he's in pass protection, and he knows that he can't get beaten out of a stance, so he leaves a little early.
And it's 1st and 15. Means. That is not Natron Means. That's Fletcher.
That's one thing that the Chargers have to do is not only run the ball so that they can get their play passes to work, but again, they have to get away from those turnovers, and they have to get first down.
Fletcher stays. Means stands on the sideline. 2nd and 9. They've been behind in 20 consecutive games. Gilbert. Caught by Jefferson, and that'll be enough for a first down for the Chargers. Clayton Holmes made the stop.
I will say this, Gilbert has had an interception and he's had a fumble, but he's also had pretty good pass protection. Now this is what they want to do. They want to work on number 47, Clayton Holmes. So they're going to. Jefferson just runs a hook there. He just pushes him up, makes him think that he's going to go up, then just turns around and Gail Gilbert hits him.
Well executed. Now Natron Means is behind Gail Gilbert, who's 4 out of 7. And Means gets the carry and got some room. Stopped by Godfrey Miles. Flag on the play.
That's going to be against the Chargers. You know, sometimes those things go hand in hand, turnovers and penalties. I think the Chargers are doing pretty well or having a bad year in both of those areas.
Their record, of course, is 3-3. Dick Hantak, the referee. 3 minutes, 2 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Dallas ahead 7-2. Illegal chop. Talking with Robert Jones, the Cowboys middle linebacker. Conversation.
Against the offense. We have holding on number 67, decline. We have an illegal crackback on number 83. It's a 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot.
Here it is on Andre Coleman.
Here's the crackback, Andre Coleman here. Now they had holding and this. Now you can come in and block, but you can't block below the waist.
Right.
That's the illegal chop block. They used to call that a crackback, and that was how you taught them to do it. You know, come in there and crack back and just block them like that. Then they made that block illegal. You can come in and block like that, but it has to be above the waist.
Fletcher is the deep back for San Diego. Gilbert back to throw it. Another flag on the play. As Sean Jefferson makes the catch from Gilbert, but another penalty marker down.
Yeah, the Chargers, you know, we talked about turnovers and penalties. Are the other thing, they're 29th in the league for penalties. And there's another one. I mean, there's two things. Bobby Ross has already been hospitalized once this year with a stomach ailment, but I'll tell you that's one of the things that causes it.
That'll put you back in the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, you get those penalties and you get the turnovers.
Illegal formation on the offense. Number 67, not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
There's a guy, Stan Brock, who the play before that, they called him. Here's Stan Brock here. See what they're saying, that he's not on the line of scrimmage, that he's lined up in the backfield, and that makes that an illegal formation.
They're right.
Watch him put it back in.
So he held on the play before that, and then he illegally lined up, and he's a 16-year veteran.
Gilbert back to throw on first down, screen pass outside to Ronnie Harmon. Cowboys played it well. Chad Henning made the stop. Robert Jones with the assist.
You know, Harmon is one of those guys, remember like Dave Meggett was for the Giants, and you know, one of those guys that you bring in not only on third down but on any passing down, and he not only, you know, lines up in the backfield, sometimes he's a slide, he'll go in motion, he'll run a draw, a screen.
One of those guys, you know he's there, but he still gets open. Here's Gilbert going to throw back to Ronnie Harmon. Chased by Haley, got away from Haley, got away from Colbert. Chased by Maryland, got away from him, but they got him hemmed up down. Miles and Holmes.
Charles Haley was too smart for that play.
Yeah.
What they tried to do is Ronnie Harmon went out like he was going to block Haley. Now watch him. He'll come here. Here's Haley here. He'll go like he's going to block him. Then he tries to sneak off. Then when he tries to sneak off, Charles Haley just goes with him. You see him try and block one there? Haley feels it now. See, and that ball had to be thrown over Haley's head. Then Haley went over there and made him stop and reverse the field. So for all those things, we talk about Charles Haley doing this and being a pass rusher and havoc. He's also a very, very smart player.
3rd and 26, going deep. And yes, it's a catch, I believe.
You always get the catch on your sideline.
Yep.
Because you have the help there. The official has all the help on that side.
Andre Coleman.
Let's go. And again, we talked about who they're going to work on, and I think this is going to be all day. They're going to work on number 47, Clayton Holmes, any way they can. Clayton Holmes turns to the inside, then gets spun around, and then the ball is right there.
And let's see, watch his feet.
Well, and you got to watch his knee, too, because one knee equals 2 feet. If he has one knee inbounds, then that's as good as 2 feet.
That means straight ahead. Did you see one knee or 2 feet?
Well, it looked like he had 2 feet and none knees.
Right.
I think both knees were out of bounds. I remember we did that one time, and the guy had his feet weren't in bounds, and Art McNally then was the head of the committee, head of the officials, and
Well, look and see again.
he said one knee equals 2 feet. He had both knees out of bounds. I think that was out of bounds. None knees or both knees out of bounds equals out of bounds.
Pass thrown again to Coleman on the opposite side of the field. Again, a good pass from Gilbert. And another Charger first down. Dallas leading with 17 seconds left in the first quarter, 7-2.
The Chargers
moving.
The Chargers got a break on that one. Poor old Clayton Holmes, he can't do anything right. They're going to work on him. They're going to work on him deep, and then he finally turns to the inside, gets spun around, and the guy has both knees out of bounds, and they still give it to him.
Barry Switzer, who was sort of feeling under the weather yesterday,
has really done a good job, both of run blocking and pass protecting.
well, they're just about as big as the Dallas offensive line. You won't see many like that. That's Means picking his way and picks his way to a first down inside the 20 to about the 17. Tolbert finally tripped him up.
You can look and see where they're throwing the ball. They went 2-2 to the left, 1 out of 3 to the middle, and where they're really throwing on Clayton Holmes, 5 out of 6 for 74 yards. So right now you can say, where are the Chargers going with their passing game? And it's either to the right side or where Clayton Holmes is playing. And this is going to be the last game that the Cowboys will play with Clayton Holmes as a corner, because the Cowboys get a bye next week, and they play Atlanta the following week, and by then Deion Sanders will be in there in the starting lineup.
He should make his Cowboy debut in Atlanta. And another guy they just signed yesterday, another outstanding performer, Darren Smith. He's expected to play when they start after the bye against Atlanta in Atlanta.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. We were talking to Darren Woodson, the safety of the Cowboys yesterday. These two Cowboy safeties are going to be a lot better when Deion Sanders is playing one of those corners, because they don't have to stay back and look and always worry about the outside and helping and deep and working on a guy. They can just concentrate on the run and their area.
Deion says he doesn't want any help.
If he needed any help, you wouldn't give him all that money.
That's right. That's going to be a first down by Means in San Diego. Robert Jones on the bottom of the stack.
He got right in there again, but behind Harry Swain, the left tackle, is doing a good job of blocking over there, because the run before that was to his side, and Eric Moten, the left guard. Eric Moten, remember him, number 77? Sure. He was a great player. Had a real bad knee 2 years ago, rehabbed it all last year. They didn't think he'd ever play again. Then he came back, and not only playing, he's playing well.
Here's Gilbert. Batted up in the air and almost picked off, and a flag comes flying in. Scott Case almost came up with the deflected pass. Going to be against Dallas, according to Gail Gilbert.
Yeah, he was the first guy down there and the happiest guy. He's already thrown one interception in that middle. That's the second time he threw it in the middle and almost had an interception.
Number 28. First down, spot of the foul.
Darren Woodson. First down at the spot of the foul, you heard Dick Hantak say.
We're just talking about Darren Woodson.
Going to be first and goal at about the 8 for San Diego. Darren Woodson unhappy about that call.
He's a heck of a player. He's really, a half linebacker and half safety. You see what they did? It was that left hand there on Ronnie Harmon. Left hand spinning him around.
That's Means to about the 6. Stopped by Tolbert.
You know, this is a good time if you're going to pass the ball down here. Play pass on second down is a good time to pass it.
All the Chargers wear that number 92, remembering their deceased teammate David Griggs. Second and goal. Gilbert, pass picked off by Brock Marion in the end zone. One he should not have thrown, and he's hurting. Maybe pride is all that's hurt.
I think his feelings are hurting. Because you know, if you're going to throw one away, you throw it to the outside. You throw it way out of the field. You never try and throw a ball away in the middle of the field. And that's exactly what Gail Gilbert does. See, he's looking to the left. He has nothing there. He gets pressure from Russell Maryland. Then he just goes to throw it away. Just before Tony Tolbert gets there, he throws it into the middle, and there's Brock Marion.
And the Cowboys will take over, and they'll have the ball at their own 20.
He had nothing open. You see, when he's set up right now, this is what he sees. This is covered. Now he gets a rush, and when he tries to throw it away into the middle, he just throws it right to Brock Marion. You never throw it away in the middle.
Aikman gives to Smith on the Cowboys' first play, and he gets maybe a yard. Mims made the stop.
There's Deion Sanders talking to Clayton Holmes. Watch what he does here as he walks away. He points to his head. You know, see? Don't let him mess with your head. You know, that's the thing. I mean, any good cornerback has to have a bad memory.
Right. Second and 9 for Dallas at their own 21. They lead 7-2. Bateman to Emmett Smith. Then Emmett Smith is wrapped up by Dennis Gibson after perhaps a yard.
They're really trying to block up that inside. Chris Mims, the defensive end of the Chargers, took a hard inside move on Eric Williams. He just lines up and just runs right in there. Just watch Mims here. He's going to go right inside of Williams. All they want to do is shut off of this area here for Emmett Smith's running. That is taking a hard inside.
Yep.
And that really pinches everything down on him.
3 wide receivers for the Cowboys. Flag on the play as Aikman lets it go. Long intended for Corey Fleming, or in that direction, but a penalty marker on the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 79, offense.
We're talking about the play before where Mims took a hard inside on Eric Williams. The next play, he gets ready for him.
He said prior to the play.
Yeah, any time you move, it's a penalty. It has to be prior to the play. No, when you weigh 340 pounds, you got to let a guy move that much. I mean, that much movement will be called by a jiggle.
Game clock to read 11 minutes and 58 seconds.
Basically,
11:58.
what it means is the Cowboys get another shot after the penalty because there was no play.
There was no play, but I mean, a guy, big Eric Williams is out there. I mean, he weighs so much, and when he just, I mean, sometimes your parts just start to move downwards and you'll jiggle that much. That was a bad call.
Aikman back to throw. No flags this time. Got it underneath to Emmett Smith. Not enough for a first down. Not nearly enough for a first down. Junior Seau.
Junior Seau, one of the fastest and best open field tacklers. When he did that, you know, when they go to all these nickels and dimes and long yardages, they keep in Junior Seau because he can do this. One, he can get there because he has great speed, and two, he can do something once he gets there.
And Emmitt Smith talked about him with great respect yesterday. Here's John Jett back. Andre Coleman deep for San Diego. Jett doesn't really get it all this time. Bounds at about the 45-yard line. San Diego will take over from there. Call it the 43. 10:56 left to play in the first half. 7-2. At Jack Murphy Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden, Dallas, and the San Diego Chargers.
You know, the Chargers have really been playing pretty well. I mean, they've had 28 plays.
4 yards in advance of the dead ball spot. We're advancing the ball 4 yards. It's first down, San Diego.
What they're saying here is the ball had been illegally touched 4 yards before, so they moved it back to 4 yards after it had been illegally touched.
So the Chargers take over at their own 47. Instead of back where they had knocked it out of bounds, they knocked it forward. Here's Gilbert back to throw it. Going deep, got a man open. Pass is picked off by the Cowboys. Clayton Holmes.
Well, whatever Deion Sanders said to Clayton Holmes, Pat, it worked. He was over there and he's talking to him and said, you have to have a bad memory. They're going to work on you.
You know what he did too? Changed sides.
I know it. Larry Brown went to that side. He came over here on this side. They're still looking for him. Clayton Holmes had been over on the right side. Then they move him over to the left side of the offense. They're still going to work on him. He was beaten by that play, and again, it was just a short throw. This is the Chargers' 4th turnover.
Gilbert just couldn't get the ball there, or didn't get the ball there. 7-2. Dallas is Gina Seau, Junior's wife, who's expecting their second child at any moment.
Yeah, she was expecting it yesterday.
Yeah.
I said, well, will she be in the hospital today? And Junior said, no, if she doesn't have the baby, she's going to be at the game today.
And there she was.
She may have the baby at the game.
Aikman gets it to Jay Novacek, and Novacek gets outside the 25, close to 26, and gets the Dallas first down.
You know, Gail Gilbert there, he's had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and a fumble. this first half. The Chargers have really been playing pretty well. They've had good pass protection.
Some of the guys have been open too.
Yeah, and he just hasn't gotten the ball to him. It looked like they were checking his jaw there.
Emmitt Smith. Not much. All right, now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
The Pat Redskins trying to sweep the Cardinals for the first time since '91. Gus Frerotte play action, deep crossing pattern. Bradshaw's favorite route to Henry Ellert. Washington nursing a 4-point lead. Back to Pat and John.
Back at Jack Murphy Stadium, Pat Summerall, John Madden. Dallas has the ball, 2nd and 9 at their own 27. Chargers fake the blitz. Daryl Johnston. Even in San Diego.
Wherever he goes, that moose call comes out. That's the thing. If you ever want to name a kid and you want him to be popular, just give him a name that has 2 O's together or a bunch of U's in it. Because they do the same thing here for Papunu.
Yep.
So either Moose, either name him like Moose, Zoo, or Poo-Poo.
How about Zoo?
That'd be a good one. Anything like that has 2 O's together, then you'll never know if you're being cheered or booed as you go through life.
That'd be a good way to go through life. Aikman gets it to Irvin. And you talk about being on the same page. Those two are in the same paragraph.
Yeah, and it starts right on the line of scrimmage, too. You know, Big Eric Williams keeps his guy on the line of scrimmage because that's where you're going to throw that slant. If you're going to throw that slant, this guy better block and keep this guy right here. You're going to take the quick drop. You're going to hit the slant right in here, but you can't let a lot of penetration come in right. See, right there. You keep that guy right there in the line of scrimmage. That gives you the lane to get to Michael Irvin, caused by the right tackle, Eric Williams.
Here's Aikman. Again complete, this time to Novacek. Aikman was under pressure, got rid of it just in time.
I think Aikman's perfect.
Ball comes out of there in a hurry, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he's thrown an incomplete pass yet. They're still working on Gail Gilbert there. But watch him. I mean, that thing, he just keeps it up there and just boom. And, you know, you talk about being on the same page with Michael Irvin. He's also on the same page with Jay Novacek. And then the other thing you have is a big offensive line. And the other thing you have is you can hand it to Emmitt Smith. Troy Aikman is perfect.
8 out of 8. Hard to improve on that. First and 10.
I don't remember any going awry.
To Irvin, to about the 32. Junior Seau made the tackle.
Yeah, watch his pass protection. You know, Larry Allen is quickly becoming one of the best guards in the league, and I think that Eric Williams, you know, when he gets back, I think he's the best offensive lineman in all of football. See how they just pass protect? They know where Troy Aikman's going to be, and they just keep their guys away. If they want to go beyond, they'll push him beyond. If they want to stay in front, they'll turn him out.
2nd and 4. Emmitt Smith. Emmitt breaking tackles, and Smith down inside the Charger 20 to about the 17. Bo Orlando finally brought him down.
Well, you know, it's just a matter of time with Emmitt Smith. I mean, you never look, you know, he starts, it's kind of slow, and then boom, he just kind of keeps going and going and going. You know, and they'll just wear you down. That big offensive line. Watch Nate Newton. He comes out there, turns, he gets this guy one little pop with that shoulder. I mean, Nate is so big, and his arms are so big, and he's so strong and powerful that he just kind of flexes that arm. Boom! And the guy goes right to his back.
The guy just disappeared.
That's the way to pull. You're going to pull, do something like that.
Aikman fires to Novacek.
You know, I don't know that saying they got to the guys in a zone. I don't know exactly what that means. But if that is a word, like some guy being in a zone, Troy Aikman injured his calf, and then I think that calf injury put him in a zone because we saw him last week. Yeah. He was almost perfect, and today he's almost perfect.
2 tight ends. The Cowboys line up. Novacek on the move. And a handoff to Daryl Johnston. Flag on the play. Johnston inside the 5.
have one runner in there, and that's Emmett Smith, and Daryl Johnston's a blocker. They don't cut the moose loose much, but they just cut the moose loose there. But Troy even looks more relaxed since he got that calf. I mean, there may be something that goes from the calf to the brain.
Defensive end, line up in the neutral zone at the snap. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, first stop.
That's 3 times the Chargers have been called for lining up in the neutral zone.
Well, it's a thing that's been hurting them all year. This year is the penalties and the turnovers, and that's what they've had this first half. I mean, offensive and defensive penalties.
First and goal at the 3. Dallas already leading 7-2. Trying for more. Smith won't get more this time. Lost a little bit.
That's what they want to do, is you want to get him going sideways. I mean, anytime Emmett Smith can have his shoulders squared to the line of scrimmage, a lot of bad things can happen to your defense. When you can get his shoulders perpendicular to the line of scrimmage, then you have a chance.
Well, then he can only go one way. When he's square, he can go either way, and he does it as well as anyone ever has.
I think he does it better than, on that cutback stuff and slashing. I think he does it better than anyone.
11th play of this drive coming up. Novacek's the man in motion. Aikman gives to Emmett Smith. And Smith fights his way down close. No signal from the officials yet.
But that was that cutback we were talking about right there. He started to the middle of the right, then somehow he just jumped back to the left. Got in there again behind Nate Newton. Watch him. You see, he starts here. Now, again, it's where the ball is when your knees go down. See, his knees down there. You can't see the ball, but I guess the ball wasn't in when his knees went down.
He is almost like wading through people.
And those people he's wading through are being knocked backwards by a good offensive line.
Here he is again, Emmett Smith. And he's going to score for Dallas his second rushing touchdown of the day.
Harry Switzer saying, now we're talking. Now we got something going here. Troy Aikman was 6 out of 6 for 60 yards on that drive. Emmett Smith just capped it off. But again, I mean, and you say this all the time, you have to give credit to this offensive line. They just took over. On this drive, the Cowboy offensive line took over.
Emmett Smith kept the ball and took it to the sideline.
And Troy Aikman is still limping. I mean, that calf muscle isn't better, but if you're going to play with a bad calf, you better have good pass protection. He has.
And a good arm. O'Neill's extra point is good. It's 14-2. Aflac trivia question this week. What NFL player has been in the last 5 Super Bowls? The last 5. 14-2 Dallas.
Now that is a funny movie.
Yes.
We're talking about Utes.
Utes. What's a Ute? Andre Coleman. At about the 27 where the Chargers take over. Billy Davis made the stop. What NFL player has been in the last 5 Super Bowls?
Would a hint be that he's thrown 3 interceptions and a fumble in the first half of this game?
Would a hint be he's playing in this game? That's he right there. Gail Gilbert was with Buffalo as they lost 4 straight in San Diego last year when they lost.
Well, one of the interesting things is Tony Martin is the leading receiver in the AFC.
Right.
He hasn't caught a pass yet.
Gilbert back to throw. Pass deflected. He was trying to drop it off to Natron Means. Hit by Maryland.
the Chargers had some chances, but they just self-destructed. If you look on their first possession, they had an interception. And the second, then they had a fumble, and then they had an interception, then they had an interception. So on 4 possessions, they've ended in 3 interceptions and a fumble.
3 wide receivers now for the Chargers. Running Harmon in motion. Gilbert to throw. Gets it up the middle to Harmon. Yeah, there's certain backs, certain guys like that. Meggett was one, you mentioned him. Harmon's one that always seem to find the hole in a defense.
Yeah, well, once they come out, they work that middle. They're usually running some kind of option or scat pattern that they usually get one-on-one. They don't get the best defenders covering them. And if the guy plays them outside, they usually have an option to run inside or vice versa.
Natron Means into Dallas territory. Stopped by Brock Marion. Darren Woodson down in the pile also.
And that's not a bad combination when you have a Ronnie Harmon coming in, and he does all the pass receiving in the offense, and then you have Natron Means, and he does all the running. So Means could just worry about this stuff, like this I formation. You get Papunu giving a lead for you, cutting back, bringing that ball over like that, doing the running part. Then Harmon takes care of the pass receiving part. Means doesn't catch any passes, and Harmon really doesn't run off them, although he is now.
There's Harmon running. Doesn't quite get the first down, about a yard shy. And we'll get the 2-minute warning. Dallas leads San Diego 14-2.
Knocked the guy out of the window, though.
Dale Gilbert, the ball carrier. Barry Switzer looking into a bright sunlight.
I think this could be a big thing for the Chargers if they could get a score here before halftime. Any kind of score.
Gilbert, down he goes. He felt them go by. Tolbert and Haley.
Maybe it'll be a big series for him if it just doesn't end in a interception or a fumble.
Cowboy player down.
You said he ever in his life could have flown a jet airplane.
How did he get into a jet airplane? It was a big plane, obviously.
Yeah, but I didn't think in the Air Force they'd take guys that big.
Well, he told us, I think, last year that he had eaten himself out of the cockpit.
Yeah, what was that? I mean, he flew some kind of plane that had hog in it. I remember that.
Warthog.
Warthog.
Yeah.
You see right here at the end, Gilbert just misses this, and I think that he got leg whipped by his own guy. Right there at the end of the play. Should have got like kicked in the thigh or the hamstring.
A bruise. 2nd and 15. Gilbert's back to throw. Throwing a screen pass out to Ronnie Harmon. Good play by Jim Swans. He closed in a hurry, didn't he?
Yeah, Schwantz had to. He's in there in that nickel situation, and if you're going to be a nickel guy, you have to be able to run, you have to be able to cover, and then like we talked about before, you have to be able to tackle in the open field.
3rd and 16. Haley swarms on Gilbert.
One thing about Charles Haley, he doesn't do a lot of celebratory stuff, does he? No. Charles is just going to say, okay, it's about time I get a sack here. Harry Swain, you see, kind of just lulls him to sleep and then just runs right by him. He didn't give him much of a move at all.
So quick.
I think, instead of putting his hands up there, he just kept his hands down. That kept Harry Swain's down, and I think he just kind of lulled him to sleep. The old street move, and then went pop, just right around him.
Dallas timeout. They have one left.
You can say what you want to say about Charles Haley, whether he practices, he doesn't practice, he has a bad back, he should be there. But if the Cowboys don't have Charles Haley playing for them, they don't go to any Super Bowl. I mean, he's the guy, to me, that the whole defense is built around him raising havoc, rushing the passer, getting in the backfield, running line stunts, whatever. In fact, last night I'm taking a walk. Pat, listen to this. I'm taking a walk, and here comes a couple with a baby, and they're big Cowboy fans, they say. And they have the little girl, and she's like 2 years old, and they want a picture, and they take her out, and their favorite player is Charles Haley, and the daughter is named Haley. They called the little girl Haley.
Clayton Holmes handles the punt. And Dallas will take over at their own 17. Next week's box, they lost to the Colts earlier today. On first down, Aikman will throw it. Pass is caught by Irvin, off to the races, and out of bounds at about the 45. Bo Orlando got him out of bounds. Don't forget, coming up at the half, the Dockers halftime report. J.B. Terry, Howie, and Jimmy scores and highlights. Some surprises around the league today in the early games.
Well, we just talked about one of them.
Yeah.
The 49ers losing, I guess. You know, and the 49ers were coming off a bye. I guess Steve Young was sick or something, but the 49ers sure didn't look like the 49ers a little part of the game I saw.
On first down, Aikman's going to throw it. Dumps it to Darrell Johnston. Incomplete. And that 3-yarder is the first one incomplete, I think.
I was going to say, I don't think that he's thrown an incomplete pass yet, and that's the thing that he didn't want to do. You see, he had to move a little, and now his leg is starting to bother him, because he said a week ago, he said, if I have to run, I can't play in this game. I'm going to be out of there. And his offensive line did such a good job, along with Darrell Johnson, he didn't have to run at all. That time he had to run, and it looks like that calf's bothering him.
2nd and 10. Looked okay coming back. Outside, Darrell Johnston. And the Moose is out of bounds in Charger territory at their 48. On the Harrison knocked him out of bounds.
Of course, when you're 12 out of 13, how much can anything be bothering you? But I really do. I think that this calf muscle has really relaxed Troy Aikman a little, and he is in that thing if it's a zone.
Sassa is the injured Charger. 3rd and short. Aikman to throw it. Whips it outside to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt will get his first down and get out of bounds. That's a good example of just what you were talking about.
Yeah, and it's a good example of what Emmitt Smith is, too. You know, I mean, they always say, who's the best running back? And if you go pure runner, they say Barry Sanders. But Emmitt Smith is a running back that you leave in every down. I mean, if you want to run it, Emmitt runs it. If you want to pass it, you know, he can go out there and catch a pass. And if you need a blocker, he'll block as well as any of them. Nervously waiting to call the next play.
On first down, here's Aikman to throw it again. With time, deflected. Maybe Leslie O'Neal got a hand on it. It was intended for Darrell Johnson.
That was Leslie O'Neal. You wonder why he wasn't out there and, you know, in the pass rush. Here's the coverage on Michael Irving. See if you can get your hands on him and grab him and get him up around the neck and hold on to him. Then you have a chance to cover. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I mean, you could not only, for that play, you could not only throw a flag, you could darn near arrest him for that.
2nd down and 10. And Aikman to throw it again. Whips it in the direction of Kevin Williams. Incomplete. Williams and Harper.
I think that's the first pass that Troy Aikman has thrown to Williams today.
I think it is.
And maybe it's the first pass that they've thrown at number 28, Dwayne Harper. Seems like they've been working the middle and working against Terrence Shaw, the other corner. Staying away from Harper was probably the best defensive backs on this Charger team.
3rd and 10. 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys this time. Williams comes out of the slot. Aikman, chased from behind, just does get rid of it, incomplete.
And he was hit by Leslie O'Neal just as he threw that ball. Leslie O'Neal's going to come from his backside right here. You see Aikman starts to move out to his right. Here comes 91 Leslie O'Neal. He dives, and just as Aikman throws him, he grabs that right leg. Now, this is the thing that he can't do. He wants to stay in the pocket because right now he can't run. He can't take too many of those in this game.
No, he can't. Jet back to punt it. Andre Coleman deep. Ball takes a bounce back toward the Cowboys, and they down it at about the 16-yard line. Don't forget to stay with us at the half. The Dockers halftime report with J.B. Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. Yard deep in the end zone. He dropped it. When he came out, picked it up. Gets out to about the 17 or 18. Got a good bounce, fortunately.
Yeah, we always talk about the wedge, Pat, on the kickoff return. Here's the wedge here. They're the guys that will lead. Here's a return man back here, and he wants to get up and get in behind these guys. See, the wedge looks, and they look back, and they wait until the ball's caught. Now they're going to turn, and boom, they just start picking off guys. And then Clayton Holmes wants to get right into that area behind the wedge where they pick off those guys. So you have a front line, then you have a four-man wedge, then you have two deep guys.
First and 10, Dallas at their own 18. Aikman. Pass was almost picked off by Bo Orlando. He almost jumped the slant pattern from Aikman to Urban.
Orlando's right here. He's going to read that thing perfectly. I mean, he's going to read that, and he gets to jump right there, and it looked like it surprised him more than anything. He was there like he was lined up playing man coverage, and he was really playing zone. He was working out into that flat area right where Troy Aikman threw it.
Second and 10. Emmitt Smith. For about 5. Dennis Gibson and Lewis Bush made the stop. Emmitt Smith scored 2 touchdowns in the first half.
4 yards.
88 career touchdowns, including those 2. Broke Tony Dorsett's record, Cowboy record of 86. 3 wide receivers, 3rd and 6. Chargers showing a blitz, but they don't bring anybody. Incomplete from Aikman, intended for Novacek. Rodney Harrison helped to break it up, and the Cowboys will have to punt.
And you can tell that that's what the Chargers talked about at halftime. You know, that we're going to kick off. Let's get a good kickoff and get him in a 3-and-out situation. You know, get Troy Aikman out of rhythm. He had perfect rhythm, was almost perfect that first half. Let's knock him out of it the first time he comes out this half.
John Jett back to punt for Dallas. Coleman back deep for San Diego. Not much wind. Jett gets off a good kick. Dandy chases Coleman all the way back to the 21. Coleman is swarmed on by the coverage, which is very effective. Dale Hellestray, who snapped it, one of the first ones down. 14-2, Dallas leading San Diego at Jack Murphy Stadium. I don't understand that conversation. That's, of course, from the San Diego Zoo, which is nearby. Gail Gilbert gives to Natron Mean. To about the 30. Tony Tolbert made the stop. San Diego Chargers first half possessions won't win too many contests.
Well, this is what really killed them right here. I mean, if you look, you know, the first 4 times they had the ball, interception, fumble, interception, interception. And then, of course, they finally got to punt the ball, and then the half took them out of their misery. But still, I mean, through all that, the score is still 14-2.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still very much in this game if they could just keep some things going.
Haley jumped and got back. No flag. Gilbert to throw it. Dwayne Young, the big tight end, makes the reception. And he draws a crowd, and the ball comes loose, but after he was down.
And you're right, the big tight end, Dwayne Young, weighs about 280 pounds. In fact, they hardly ever throw him the ball, though they say he has great hands, but he's like having another tackle in there. That's what Stan Humphries was saying yesterday. You know, he said, we have 3 tackles. Dwayne Young is just a 3rd tackle. He said, we ought to throw to him a little more because he really does have good hands. Like he was a basketball player at one time.
Very good touch.
But he's a big old wide-body tight end.
First down. Gilbert again to Means. And Means, shoulder down, shedding tacklers, gets about 9.
I think that's the thing they want to do in this game is just get right in behind these 2 guys here, get good blocking there, get a lead block, let Means, you know, run at it, and then cut back. Just find any soft spot in that defense. He started to the left, found a soft spot in the middle, but if they can stay close in this game, then they can keep Natron Means in the game. If it gets out of the way, then they can't do that.
2nd and 1, Ronnie Harmon's in. Gilbert gives to Harmon. Harmon off to the races. Ronnie Harmon, who's not supposed to be runner, is a very effective runner. Touchdown San Diego, 48 yards.
That's why Ronnie Harmon's the most valuable player on this Charger team. Even though you look at the starting lineup, he doesn't start. All these fans know who Ronnie Harmon is. This is a heck of a run, man.
It really is.
Watch this. He's going to start the ball, and he's going to start up to the inside. You see him start in here to the left side, up the middle. Then he's going to bounce it all the way outside to the right. He started to the left side, went to the middle, all the way to the right side. A couple of missed tackles in there, but a heck of a run by Ronnie Harmon.
And a good stiff arm by Ronnie Harmon on Brock Marion. Carney for the extra point. Gilbert holding. Flag on the play. The extra point is good.
That was the thing. The Chargers had all those bad things happen to them in the first half, but at 14-2, they were still in this game. Now they go, boom, they get the touchdown.
Offside. Defense number 58. Extra point is good. Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Dixon Edwards was offsides. The Chargers get right back into this contest. 14-9. 11:40 left in the 3rd.
Let's watch that run of Ronnie Harmon again on the clicker here. Now watch, he's starting to the left. Then he's going to move to the middle. Then watch him use his right arm for balance. He got the ball in his left hand, and he uses a right arm for balance to get him outside. He makes Darren Woodson miss right here. And right here he has Brock Marion. Just that little left hand, he gets it in there and pushes him down, and then just takes it off to the end zone. That was a heck of a run.
Really.
Started to the left, went to the middle, ended up all the way out to the right side.
So it's 14-9.
You see how he had that right hand out there? He had the ball in his left hand, and he used his right hand for balance and speed. He ran it like he was a windmill.
Carney to kick off. Clayton Holmes deep for Dallas. Sails out of the end zone, is down there by Brock Marion.
See, and that all started with defense, Pat. I think the Chargers really had a little change in there in the locker room at halftime because it started with a good kickoff, then good defense. They come in and they had a 3 and out. They got the ball back, and then the Chargers on offense, and they just took it back down and scored.
Everybody did their job. First of all, the special teams, as you pointed out. And then they started to keep the ball on the ground with Means and then with Harmon. 14-9, Cowboys ball on their own 20. Emmett Smith. Cut down in the backfield by Willie Clark. Good tackle by Clark.
I think someone had a little talking to this Charger Charger defense at halftime because this is a different group in these first two series. I mean, they're up there, they're pressing, they're gang tackling, they're pursuing. This is Dave Adolph here. Look, he has so many. He's a defense coordinator. He has so many defenses. Pat, he has them on both wrists. He got his left wrist defenses and his right wrist defenses.
2nd and 12. Novacek in motion. Aikman to throw. To Johnston. And Darrell Johnston out of bounds at about the 22. Dwayne Harper first there.
You know, it's funny. In the first half, you could feel that all the speed and tempo and rhythm was with the Dallas Cowboys. And they only got 14 points. And so far in this half, you feel that all the speed and rhythm and tempo is with the San Diego Chargers.
3rd and about 8. Make it 7.
Chargers got too many guys on the field.
Junior Seau. Pass is complete to Kevin Williams. That should be enough for a first down. Just barely.
Yeah, they ended up okay. They'd gone to their nickel defense, and they took 3 players out. Then they put 4 in, and then they ended up with just 3. Now they're making the substitutions again. That's what this football has really gotten into, the situation substitution, where just about every down on most teams you have a different group of players.
That's one of the biggest change in the game over the years. Outside Emmett Smith. And the Chargers are up in good shape in a hurry. Bush.
Anytime you get a guy in the open field, we always said you want to form a triangle around him. You want to have a guy right in front of him and a guy on either side. And that time the Chargers put a triangle on Emmitt Smith. Now watch Emmitt Smith here. He's going to come out of the backfield on the right, catch the ball, and if we can stop it right here, here's a triangle. Here's the outside. Here's the inside who'll be right in front of him. And then you have the third part of the triangle is a little more to the left. Say boom, boom, boom. You give them no place to go.
2nd and 10. Novacek. Cut down at the 40 by Terrence Shaw. Not enough for a first down for the Cowboys.
That was a good tackle by Shaw, which will create a short yardage situation here for the Cowboys.
8:40 left to play in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 1, 14-9 Dallas.
With a big offensive line like the Cowboys have and a runner like Emmitt Smith, they're pretty effective in this situation, that combination. And I'm sure we're going to see it.
2 tight ends, Kendall Watkins. The big blocker, this is Emmitt Smith. First down at the 45. Junior Seau on the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, that's why Emmitt Smith has to be so good. I mean, it's short yardage. You know that he's going to get the ball. Everyone is keying on him. You know, all you have to do is follow Moose Johnston because he's going to lead him, and he still gets a first down. There's nothing you can do about it. To me, that's greatness.
He's so elusive and so strong. This is not good.
Well, they haven't had a lot of success running on first down, but they've had a lot of success passing on first down, which means the Chargers are selling out on first down run.
On first down, Aikman gives to Smith, and he's hit in the backfield by John Perella.
That's the way to stop him. You have to get the penetration, and you don't even let him get started. I mean, you're going to see the penetration come right to this point here. That's where Emmitt Smith is trying to go. Perella just gets right across the line of scrimmage. He's right in the backfield there. Ray Donaldson was blocking him, and he just kind of blocked him right into Emmitt Smith.
So it's 2nd down and 13. Let's see if Aikman has time. Yes, he does. Kevin Williams. Pass is caught. And it's a catch. Chargers don't agree. Kevin Williams got the reception on the Charger side of the field.
And it all started with what you said. See if he has time. He does have time. Here's Kevin Williams, man-to-man. See, he makes a quick move, like he fakes like he's going to the inside, goes to the outside, uses his left arm, just like Michael Irvin, to push off, and then Troy Aikman throws a perfect pass.
Watch this. Is he in bounds?
He has control there. Left foot. Now, where's that right foot come down? Yep. He was in bounds. They kind of held it there, for suspense.
Irvin in motion. Aikman hits Emmitt Smith. Emmitt juggled it a moment. He's stopped by Bush.
That guy that was beaten on that play, that Mark Montreux, number 40, he's really a rookie who didn't play much. He's from Canada,
right.
Played at a school called Concordia, and he's the same guy that was playing that same corner, that same position on Monday night that they went to work on.
Second down. Dallas ball at the San Diego 28. Emmitt Smith to about the 16. Bo Orlando tripped him up.
Yeah, we have that stat where Emmitt Smith has gained more yards before he's hit than he does after he's hit, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't get hit. I said that to him, and he said, my body tells me I've been hit a lot. Well, the thing is, the stat says that, that he's still going to get hit at the end, but he gets a lot of yards like that there before he even gets hit.
He got first down yardage. Moose Johnston moves in motion to the left. Aikman will throw it. Intended for Emmitt Smith. Deflected.
Yeah, what we were just talking about here on Emmitt Smith. Now, this is for the year before they have contact. In other words, he runs the ball, and before they have contact, he's gained 446 yards. After contact, after he's been hit and he keeps running, 320. But at the end of every run, there's going to be a whole lot of contact.
Oh, sure.
I mean, this guy's a man. I mean, I'll tell you, when he comes off a football field, because he plays every down, and he plays hard every down, he knows he's been in a game.
Three wide receivers, and Novacek moves to his right. This is Emmitt Smith. Down to about the 9, maybe the 8. Bo Orlando made the stop.
A lot of times, I remember a few weeks ago, Daryl Johnston was saying that you don't count up how Emmitt Smith is doing until the game's over.
Right.
Because sometimes he'll be under control that first quarter, sometimes the first half, and then at some point, he's going to get going, and they're going to get on that roll, and they're just going to keep feeding him. We may be at that point right now.
I think so. 3rd and 2. Emmitt again. Down at about the 1-foot line by Junior Seau.
This guy's just a great player. Everyone knows he's going to do it. I mean, you have Junior Seau, you got those big defensive linemen in there. Everyone is going to try and stop this guy. He's the only guy in the backfield. You look, he runs a little delay. He just makes a move there, makes him miss, makes a move there, makes a little dip back into the inside and gets right down to the goal line. How do you do that?
How do you know where everybody is?
It's all that package of vision, peripheral, power, all the P's. Peripheral, power.
A lot of P's. Hopping. Barry Switzer. Dallas, no turnovers. That's a big stat. Aikman, 19 out of 26, 204 yards. Ronnie Harmon had that 48-yard touchdown run to get the Chargers back into it. They scored first, the Chargers did, on a safety. Aikman was tackled in the end zone. 1st and goal at the 1-foot line. 2 tight ends. Daryl Johnston, touchdown, the Moose.
Michael Irvin says, I'm going to go out there and congratulate this one myself. We don't get a lot of it, but I'm going to go do it.
I forgot my hat.
He forgot his helmet. I don't know what he's going to do when he gets in there. I think what happened, I think they're going for 2 points. That's what it is. And someone said 2 points. Michael Irvin's, I thought he was going in to congratulate. He was going in to play.
We're going for 2. You need a helmet.
Yeah. He ran in there. So I would bet the play is not to Michael Irvin.
Howard!
Aikman. No, beg your pardon. Flag on the play. It was to Michael Irvin. And he grabbed his ankle.
And maybe he got so excited when they said 2 points, run that slant in there. He just didn't look like he was ready for it. The fact that he forgot to bring his hat out there.
And then hurt his ankle.
With a 2-point conversion, you know, they have that card and it tells them every situation.
Here's what the chart says about when you go for 2.
You're ahead by 1, 4, 5, 12.
Number 59.
15 or 19.
Team left the field through the end zone. By rule, you must leave on your sideline. We will retry. Penalty, half the distance to the goal line.
They'll retry. Why would they retry?
Because what happens is the Charger went out the back end. He didn't come off the field.
Right.
So then, and the pass was incomplete. So then they get down.
I thought he caught the pass.
No.
Emmitt Smith. Flag on the play. Emmitt's hit out of bounds, and his ankle buckled. But he's okay. Going to be holding against the Cowboys.
And now the Cowboys are going to kick this one.
Well, did he make it? I don't think Emmitt got in, so maybe they take the play.
Yeah, that's right. If he didn't get in, then they're not going to be able to kick it. You only get 1 try at it.
Offense, number 61, will penalize 10 yards from the 1-yard line. Retry.
Well, they will retry. Yeah, but if the ball doesn't get in, why would you let them retry?
That's what I'm wondering.
If you stopped them, then you don't do it. I mean, because he didn't get in. I don't think they. No. The ball. He changed hands. He put the ball in his left hand. You see, the ball is there, and he's out of bounds. Yeah, so he wasn't in. So I don't know why the Chargers shouldn't do this. They should just say no, because they get 1 try for 2 points. They didn't make it. Now, why would you give them another try?
The ball didn't cross.
No, and I'm sure they didn't call it a touchdown.
He got his foot across. In any case.
But it's where the ball is when the foot goes out of bounds.
Right. And Bonio's extra point attempt is not good.
Well, then it's all right, because he shouldn't have even had the chance. They had like 3 chances at that.
So
one they shouldn't have had.
20-9. 3:40 left in the third quarter.
That's hit hard.
Boy.
Yeah, that's a tough job, being a kick returner or a punt returner.
Charlie Williams is the guy who made the hit.
You know, I still don't understand what happened on that try, because when they first called holding, they said that would go on the kick, which meant it wasn't good, and then they didn't put it on the kick, and then they gave him another kick.
Which they didn't make.
I think their communications are upset. I think they got their wires crossed.
Here's Gail Gilbert back to throw it. Gets it out of bounds. Out of the right flat, rather. Not out of bounds to Sean Jefferson. Right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James. 2nd and 8 for San Diego. Cowboy to hit him.
Leon Leon Lett starting to rise to the occasion here, Pat. On the play just before this, he knocked Gail Gilbert down right after he threw the ball, and then he made that play there. That's a heck of a combination over on that right side of this Cowboy defense, where you got Leon Lett on the inside and Charles Haley playing right next to him on the outside. That is tough to block.
Chargers go with 3 wide receivers and Ronnie Harmon, who just came out of the backfield. Gilbert is hit down by Haley. He and Leon Lett on the stunt.
They just ran the stunt. Here's the stunt now. Leon Lett is going to come right here. Charles Haley is going to go right underneath here, and he's going to find Gail Gilbert about right there. This is what you call a line stunt. See, Leon Lett comes to the outside. Haley starts up, then he comes to the inside and runs right into the quarterback.
Clayton Holmes returns the kick. The Charger coverage is good. Eric Castle is down to make the stop. 20-9 with 1:59 left in the third.
Well, we've already done it. But she was a cute little girl. I mean, Haley. But she has to go all her life being called Haley after Charles Haley, number 94.
Dick Hantak.
12 men on the field for the receiving team. The player trying to clear on the sideline did not clear prior to the snap. Penalty is declined. First down.
First down, Dallas at their own 34. 1:59 left to play in the third quarter. The Cowboys leading 20-9. San Diego 9, third quarter, 1:59 left to play in the third quarter. Cowboys have the ball at their own 34. Michael Irvin split wide left. Kevin Williams to the right. Novacek on the move. And Aikman. Irvin incomplete. That's one of the few times they were out of sync. Troy Aikman has broken the Cowboy record for consecutive passes without an interception, a new team record that had been held by Don Meredith.
I think a lot of that is Troy Aikman. I mean, Troy Aikman gets back, has great vision, command of everything to do, quick release, timing, tempo, has all those things. A lot of it has to do with Norv Turner and Ernie Zampese, the offense they've given to work with.
And a lot of it has to do with his accuracy and with Michael Irvin.
Yeah, he was saying last night that if Michael Irvin is ever man-to-man, he says if he ever looks out there and he sees that they are on Michael Irvin man-to-man, he says on a comeback pattern, he feels that he can complete them 100%. Now that's confidence. This isn't a comeback pattern. This is a slant. But, you know, they get so they're always worried. Terrence Shaw was off him, and again, he's a rookie corner playing against Michael Irvin. He wasn't exactly sure what he was going to do, so he kind of just did nothing.
And you notice where the ball was, right in Irvin's body, where it's not going to be knocked loose. He can cover it up, use his body to cover it up. It's just like you said, it's a symphony almost.
Yeah, and then he could just keep running too. I mean, that's the thing that Michael Irvin, I'm sure, likes about Troy Aikman. One, he gets him the ball a lot. Two, he's always looking for him. But three, he never hangs him out.
Right.
He always has that ball right there in front of him where he doesn't have to stretch. He doesn't have to reach, where he can catch it, you know, in a gathered position to run, but not get stretched out to get laid out.
First down, Dallas. And a handoff to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt gets into Charger territory across midfield. Sean Gale made the stop. And when Sean Gale and Bo Orlando start to make the tackles on Emmitt Smith, it's a matter of time.
Well, you know, Mark Tuanay made a heck of a block that time. He's the left tackle, and he was a backside tackle, but they have so much confidence. Watch Mark Tuanay here. They know the ball's going here, but they have so much confidence that Emmitt Smith can take it anywhere that even when they're offside, they really block hard. You see that?
Yep.
Tuanay? I mean, he just took his guy and drove him about 4 yards in.
Here he is again. Close to a first down. Sean Gale made the stop.
Yeah, that's the thing, like you say, when those safeties, when you're getting by that defensive line and linebackers and the safeties are making the plays, that you know that your offensive line, and again, I say this, when you include the offensive line with the Cowboys, I think you have to include Darrell Johnston, the Moose. When that group gets going, then safeties are going to make a lot of tackles.
3rd and short. 2 tight ends, Novacek and Kendall Watkins now lined up at tight end. He's about 300 pounds. Darrell Johnston got the handoff and didn't get the first down. Junior Seau is on the bottom of that pile.
This is the conclusion of the 3rd quarter.
The end of the 3rd quarter with Dallas leading San Diego 20-9. Dallas 20, San Diego 9 at Jack Murphy Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. And the Cowboys will have to punt. Andre Coleman deep for San Diego. John Jett to punt it. The 4th quarter. Jett hangs it high. Coleman signals for a catch. It hits one of the Cowboys in the head. And Williams wasn't expecting it. It didn't look like. Bounced off him. Excuse me, John.
No, I was saying I think when the Chargers didn't get it, he went back to catch it.
Gail Gilbert has quarterbacked the Chargers all the way. Natron Means behind him, and he gets the carry. Means breaks a tackle, breaks another, gets outside the 30. Finally tripped up by Larry Brown.
One thing is, you know, as impressive as the Cowboys have been, they only have 20 points, and they really left the Chargers in this game. I mean, the Chargers really haven't been that impressive. I mean, they've had the turnovers, they've had the penalties, they've been a little sloppy, but, you know, with 14 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, 20-9, they're still in this game.
Means again. Outside the 35, about the 36.
You know, we talked about what Emmitt Smith does before contact and after. Now, Means has like 310 yards before contact and 314 after. So for Natron Means, he makes about as many yards before he's hit as he does after he's hit for the first time.
Gilbert fakes to Means. Gets the pass complete to Tony Martin.
I think that's Tony Martin's first pass, and Tony Martin is a leading wide receiver in the AFC. He's going to be out here just running an out pattern. See, he comes down, and then he just starts to the inside, and then again works back to the outside. Again, working on Clayton Holmes. You know, if they're going to look on someone and say, here's our best receiver, here's the guy who catches the pass, I think you want to get that matchup as much as you can, and I'm surprised that's the first time they've done it.
Means is deep. He gets the carry. His 21st of the day. Flag on the play. In the area of holding,
which is the greatest drive stopper in football. And it used to be 15 yards, and I used to always say that as a coach. You know, you get a drive, you're going, and you get that doggone holding penalty, and it would stop every drive you ever got.
Well, it changes your whole philosophy.
Holding, offense, number 53. In the event that the ball is beyond the line of scrimmage and the foul is beyond the line of scrimmage, we penalize from the spot of the foul, which is closer to the previous spot. 10 yards, repeat the down, first down.
I'm not sure what all that means. Courtney Hall was called for the violation. But still a drive stopper.
Yeah, right, and it has to be the farthest point. If the point was the line of scrimmage, then it'd be the line of scrimmage. If it was downfield, then it would go back to the line of scrimmage. But it's going to be 10 yards from the where it's going to hurt you the most.
This is Ronnie Harmon, who scored the Chargers touchdown on a 48-yard touchdown sprint, stopped by Leon Lett.
Yeah, we were talking about Harry Swain, number 72, and that big face mask that he had. He had an injury to his eye orbit. So they had that mask specially made. And we put that helmet on a scale yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, the average helmet that we put, the other lineman helmet weighed 4 pounds. That helmet weighs 6 pounds. So he's carrying 6 pounds on top of his head.
Here's Gilbert to Harmon. And Harmon gets to the 34-yard line. And that'll be enough for a Charger first down.
And I think Charles Haley got to Gilbert just as he threw that one. And he's getting the pressure. Watch Haley here. He's going to come from this side. Tony Tolbert is coming from that side. And they're going to meet right around Gail Gilbert. Watch Haley. See, he's coming from his backside. Tolbert was coming from his front side. And whoop, that's what you call a decleater.
They also call it first down, San Diego. Means is the deep back. The handoff is to Means, hit behind the line by Leon Lett. The big cat.
Yeah, it's tough to run in there if he's getting penetration. Look at the pressure that Gail Gilbert's been under today. He's been sacked 4 times, hurried 10 times, knocked down 8 times. You know, and that started like in the second quarter. 1 batted pass. He's thrown 3 interceptions. He's been forced to scramble 4 times. And in addition to all that stuff, he's had 1 fumble.
Let's see what he has to do this time. Gilbert back to throw it. Has some time this time. Pass bounced off the hands of Papunu, almost to Martin, but it's incomplete after all that.
You know, Papunu went to Weber State, and he was a leading receiver in the nation. In fact, of all time, I think he's the 3rd leading college receiver. Who would have thought that?
Who would have thought? Jerry Rice, 2 years in front of him.
Yep, here it is right here. Brian Forster from Rhode Island, Jerry Rice 2, and then Alfred Papunu in 1991 at Weber.
He's in motion, 3rd and 12. Gilbert got a man wide open. They're waving their arms, no signal for a touchdown. Now
they threw the hat. I think he went out of bounds.
He did.
Now, if you're pushed out of bounds, you can come back in and catch the ball. If you go out of bounds, you can't come back in and catch the ball. Now, see out there? It's up on top. You see, he goes out of bounds right there. He's running out of bounds, comes back in and catches the ball. That's going to be illegal. That was Sean Jefferson. Now, if he was pushed out of bounds, then he can come back in bounds.
He was pushed way up after he first started to make his break.
Yeah, and he's saying that he was pushed. You see, that's his argument, that he was pushed out of bounds. That's a new rule issue. If you're pushed out of bounds, you can come back in and catch. If you weren't pushed out of bounds, you can't come back in.
Look at Harry Swain getting between Jefferson and the officials. There was a flag on the play down inside the 10, and was a hat where he went out of bounds.
I think the same guy threw the flag in the hat.
The player went out of bounds without being contacted. Loss of down, 4th down.
Yeah, see, the hat just means that he went out of bounds, and the flag was for the penalty. You see, he's going to be hit right there. Now he's still in bounds. Now you can see right there when he goes out of bounds, he wasn't pushed out of bounds. You see, he's running out of bounds. Then he comes back in. So the hat went down. You see, just that he was out, then the fact that he caught the ball, then that was the penalty. Again, and I'm sure Sean Jefferson is arguing because he was hit initially coming off the line of scrimmage.
And I'm sure that's his argument.
Yeah, that he was pushed out of bounds.
4th and 12, and they're going for it. 3 wide receivers plus Ronnie Harmon. No blitz from Dallas, a 4-man rush. Catch is made, I believe, but not enough for the first.
And again, you have to give that one to Charles Haley.
Yep.
Because he didn't have time. I mean, when you're 4th and 12, you need time. And when you have Charles Haley coming like this, he's not going to give you the time. Watch that. You see, from now on, he had to throw the ball, and he had to throw it short of the first down anyway.
And Larry Brown made the stop.
I'll bet you that bear shakes. Somewhere when he comes out, he has to shake that water off. I guess we can't stay with him. Oh, there he goes.
There you are.
I know, yeah, that's one thing that you can't train an animal to do is when they get wet to not shake.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Aikman to Irvin. And right now, again, let's go to Hollywood Murphy Stadium where the Cowboys lead San Diego 20-9, 2nd and 2. Cowboys at their own 38. Blitz coming. Cowboys read it. So did Emmitt Smith. There's a flag down way back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's again in the area where they call offensive holding. You know, the thing about it, though, is that flag was thrown in the area of offensive holding about 10 seconds after Emmitt Smith went through the hole.
Offense, number 61, 10-yard penalty. Repeat
They
the down.
didn't throw the flag till Emmitt was already in Charger territory.
He was about 15 yards downfield. This is the guy they called it on, Nate Newton. But again, you watch Nate block there. He got that left arm up in there. That's a pretty good block. And then, heck, I mean, the guy went by him. If he saw anything after that, that's getting picky. I mean, you got to let those big 330-pound guys grunt like that. That's like saying that grizzly bear can't shake after he gets out of the water. What are you talking about? You got to let him shake.
Do whatever he wants to. 2nd and 9.
I'll tell you, Nate wasn't going to move that time. You see him?
Sean Lee jumped.
Yeah, he moved. He was lined up over Nate Newton, and Nate said, "Okay, you got me for holding. I don't think I held, but you're not going to get me on this one."
Encroachment, defense, number 98. Contact prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Watch Nate there. He's not going to move, Pat. I mean, the guy in front of him is going to go. He's going to go. Nate's going to stay there. No, he's not going to. You're not going to get him. No coach is going to say, "Hey, Nate, you move." But they're going to let, like Sean Lee jump off sides and say, "Nate pulled you off sides." Nate's going to stay there to prove I am innocent.
Yeah, the first thing he did was pull up his pants.
Always will.
2nd down. Smith about 4 this time. Stopped by Seau.
Yeah, the Cowboys are going to be in great position. You know, when they get through this game, then next week they have a bye, and then they're going to get, Deion Sanders, and that'll, I think, really solidify this defense.
And Darren Smith.
And then, they play Atlanta, where they're going to need all their defensive backs because Atlanta plays those 4 wide receivers. I think they're in pretty good position.
3rd and 4. That's Novacek on the move. Flag on the play as Aikman stays in there. Gets the ball to Michael Irvin, who's thrown backwards, but there was a flag as I think the Chargers jumped too soon.
The Chargers, just anything that you can do wrong or anything that you can do that is an undisciplinary look are the types of things the Chargers have done today. I mean, I know Bobby Ross is a disciplinarian. He's a
Offside.
heck of a coach. He's
Defense,
solid.
98 in the neutral zone during the snap. 5-yard penalty.
Well, it's not just today.
To make it 1st down.
No, it's a whole season. They were 29th in the league in penalties. And then the turnover, I mean, you add those 2 things. Yeah, and a year ago the Chargers were in the Super Bowl, but this year they just aren't together and they're just self-destructing.
Been penalized 9 times today. Far too many. Here's Aikman. Going deep for Irvin, who had it and dropped it, and there's a flag on the play. He had to come back.
was just thinking that I was surprised that they hadn't gone deep more today because they've been going those short and the short underneath.
Interference, defense, number 31.
The interference called against Willie
First
Clark.
down, spot of the foul.
That's Willie Clark getting there before the ball gets there. See, after the ball gets there, then it would be okay.
Yep.
But I think the ball was short. Clark was beaten by a step, and he ran into Michael Irvin when he had to come back and wait for the ball.
And then he grabbed him.
And then he's talking into his helmet. And he's talking to the ground. What's he talking about?
Talking to whomever. 1st and 10 after the penalty against the Chargers.
You can get that penalty a lot by throwing it up and then throwing it short and having the guy run into your guy.
Darrell Johnson. About 8 down to the 13-yard line of San Diego.
I think the Cowboys are cutting the moose loose today. You know, usually he's the blocking back, and then he leads, and this time they just give him the ball, and he makes a cut back there just like Emmitt Smith does.
Well,
no, it was a little slower, and it wasn't, quite as hippie.
he made a cutback, you're right.
Yeah, no, he made a nice little cutback for a guy that weighs 242 pounds. He changed direction.
2nd and 1. Just outside the 10.
The Cowboys are just really taking it to them now. I mean, they got control that, the offensive line, the mixture, of run and pass, giving the ball here, giving the ball there.
First down, Cowboys at the San Diego 11.
Nate Newton's probably pretty happy that his holding penalty didn't kill the drive.
Here's Emmitt Smith inside the 10. Out of bounds at about the 5.
You just wonder how this guy can keep doing it. I mean, Emmitt Smith is one of those guys that doesn't take a breather. I mean, he's not out of there on passing downs. He's not out of there in short yardage or goal line or if they blitz or anything. I mean, he just plays every down. This guy is a football player.
When he has carried 20 times, the Cowboys' record is 55-6.
I think when he just plays.
Yeah.
I think if Emmitt Smith plays, their record's that.
They're at the 5. Emmitt Smith again. Chased by the Chargers and no place to go this time. Lost yardage as he slipped down trying to cut back.
Did you see that shot of him in the huddle? He's wearing a necklace. I mean, he's wearing, what do you call those where you have he has a gold chain, number 22, was hanging down in front. So if he doesn't see his number on his jersey or his shoulder pads, he can look on his neck. He has 22 in gold around his neck. I just saw it. Watch it right here. See that there? I just saw it. Look at that. So wherever you're looking, you know what your number is. You always have your number on your person. You take the jersey off, you always got your number with you.
Looks like it might be heavy, too.
Yeah, did you see that? That was dangling in the huddle.
Yeah. Here's Aikman. Pass incomplete. Intended for Emmitt Smith, was deflected. 5:31 left to play. 20-9 Dallas. 4th down, and we'll see Bonio.
Barry Switzer's thinking that, that when you get down there, you like to get the ball in the end zone. You know that maybe you don't need it this time, but just to be a proficient team.
This will be a 30-yard field goal attempt by Chris Bonio. And it's good. And Dallas leads now 23-9 with 5:27 left to play. Who lost today, and look at the standings in the West. Who would have thought? John and I'll be there.
And the 49ers in that game are going to need a win to be tied.
Yep. Andre Coleman dancing and taken down by the Cowboys' Bill Bates. 23-9. Dallas leading. 5:23. San Diego 9. 5:16 left to play. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. Is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited. First and 10 for the Chargers at their own 14. Gilbert to Tony Martin, complete.
You know, Pat, one of the things, we're going one official short.
Yeah.
Usually you have 6 officials. We only have 6 now. The field judge, Don Carey, was injured. So there's no official who would normally line up right there. That's the guy they're going without in this alignment.
Pass complete to Jefferson from Gilbert. Be enough to move the sticks.
Yeah, Don Carey pulled his Achilles tendon, they said, in the game, so they've made the adjustment. Again, they usually have an official on both ends of the line of scrimmage. Now they only have one.
Gilbert's pass sails high and out of bounds. Tony Martin, the intended receiver. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Studio is produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Second and 10, San Diego. 4.5 minutes left to play. Dallas in control. Gilbert goes high again in the direction of Sean Jefferson.
We got here early today, Pat, and you know, coming in here like at 10 o'clock in the morning, this place was packed already.
Yep.
So I said, boy, if you get here this early, you must have a reason to get here this early.
Hey,
That's a reason.
Look at that. Great Mexican food down here in San Diego.
Well, that was pretty good barbecue chicken you had sent to us by Paul Lowe.
Yeah.
Really one of the outstanding players ever to play here. 3rd and 10. Gilbert with plenty of time. Incomplete. Tony Martin is the intended receiver.
What do you think this old Madden tailgate team does?
I don't know, but the arrows are pointing in both directions.
Look at this. Oh, that's a pig. They brought the whole pig. They cooked the whole pig.
That's the whole gentleman.
Someone's pulling the ear. They got something in the ear. Now you're talking, huh? All Madden tailgate, what do you have in a pig?
I think that pig had a smile on his face, too.
It had something in its ear.
Yeah.
It looked like it had a cork in its ear.
It's a big cork. Darren Bennett's punt will be handled by Clayton Holmes. Gets away from one. Trying to get around the corner. Does a lot of running. Gained not much yardage, but no fumbles.
And no penalties. Usually when a return guy goes like that and he starts running sideways like that, you usually have a clipping penalty.
60-yard punt by Bennett. 23-9. Cowboys over the Williams. And David Lang, as the Moose also gets a rest. Sherman Williams, number 20. Aikman still the quarterback. Bush made the stop.
I was just going to say, I think the Cowboys are starting some of the Cowboys are starting their bye week right now.
Yeah.
They get to rest the rest of this game. They have next week off and play 2 weeks from today against the Atlanta Falcons.
In Atlanta.
There's a guy who gives everything he has to a game, and he can take those gloves off.
Here is Alex Spanos, the owner of the San Diego Chargers. Fine gentleman.
Yeah, you know, and he's a good friend of Bob Hope's, and you know, and they would do these charity things, and Bob Hope taught him how to do this.
I made that old soft shoe. I made that old soft shoe.
Spanos, the owner of the Chargers.
Sherman Williams deep. He gets the carry. Swings outside the 20. This is Mark Tooney.
Looks like he's talking about his shoulder.
Or his back. He's had some back problems. Maybe. I don't know. 23-9. Dallas leading San Diego. Lower back spasms. Sherman Williams gets the carry again. He's hit down. Right now for a McDonald's game break again. Let's return to James Brown in Hollywood.
And Arizona has moved ahead of Washington late in the game. Take a look. Dave Craig bullet right to Frank Sanders down to the 1. That set up a touchdown pass to Garrison Hurst. 24-20 Arizona. Less than 2 to play. Pat and John.
And San Diego out of timeouts now.
San Diego doesn't have any team on the field.
No.
They're all lined up here in the sideline. The Cowboys are out there in the field, lined up over the ball, ready to go, and the Chargers are all over here in the sideline.
3:42 left. Dallas leading 23-9. That guy hasn't been very busy today, has he?
Nah, that's a cannon guy. They shoot off that cannon every time the Chargers score. And that's one of the things. You know, when you were in this division, you always wanted to keep that cannon guy in his chair, and you always wanted to keep Warpaint in the corral. Warpaint was a Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah, horse that ran around the doggone field whenever they scored a touchdown. And this guy shoots that stupid cannon off whenever they score. So you want to shut up the cannon and keep Warpaint in the corral.
Well, San Diego scored first on a safety. Do you remember if they shot the cannon on a safety?
They should have.
Coleman chased by Bates. Fumble. Ball went out of bounds. David Lang finally made the stop.
I think Charles Haley caught that fumble. Charles Haley's just standing there. He's minding his own business. He said, "I'm not giving anyone any problem. I'm no trouble here. Look, I'm just a player. I'm just happy to be part of the team." And boom, a fumble happens. It goes right to him. Look, here's a fumble. Takes a bounce. Look, there's old 94. He bends over, comes right to him. Gives a little straight arm.
Been a busy week for Charles Haley. Last week after the game, he wasn't so happy to be a part of the team. And then everything got smoothed over during the week.
You think everything's smooth right now?
I think so.
Charles Haley's no smoothie.
3 wide receivers. Gilbert back to throw it again. Under pressure, and down he goes. Shante Carver gets the sack.
I'll tell you, being a backup quarterback and having to play is tough. And when your first game is against the Dallas Cowboys, who right now I think are the best team in football, that makes it about triple tough.
Gets it to Ronnie Harmon. Harmon gets out of bounds. Gained a couple. Been a frustrating day, I'm sure, for Bobby Ross. Frustrating year for him, the way they've been penalized and turned it over.
Yeah, I think the frustration started in the Super Bowl against the 49ers, and he said that it took him all the way till training camp to try and get that one out of his mind, and then they never got started this year.
Gilbert Chase gets the ball to Harmon. Harmon Chase gets away from 1 Cowboy. 2 Cowboys. Finally is taken down by Darren Woodson and Bill Bates. Gail Gilbert might be shaken just a bit.
Well, Tony Tolbert hit him. Again, Tolbert has been very active today. He's going against Stan Brock. He's coming down here in the bottom of the screen. You see him take that inside stunt, the same one Charles Haley did. He took that, where the tackle goes out, Tolbert comes in underneath, right up the middle.
There he is, back to throw it again, under pressure again, throws it on the ground again. Coming up following our football coverage space, above and beyond, except on the West Coast.
I'll tell you, he stepped, that was almost space that he got knocked into when he stepped into Leon Lett. That's a heck of a thing. I mean, you're back there and you're looking, and you go and you step up, and here comes number 78. Watch him here. When he steps up, see, he goes to go right there, and watch where he runs into right here. Whap! That'll knock you into space.
in the other direction quickly.
Well, you don't want to. That's a tough thing against this Cowboy defenses with Big Cat Leon Lett in there ever stepping up. You know, there's not much in that trap.
Aikman is still the quarterback. Sherman Williams the running back with Darrell Johnson in front of him. Sherman gets the carry. Out of bounds, stops the clock, gets a first down.
Yeah, there's only 2 minutes and 24 seconds left to go in this game, and I see no reason why Troy Aikman's in there now. I mean, I would think that he ought to start his bye too.
I think Charles has started his bye. Aikman's still playing.
No, that's a surprise. I don't think that he has to be in there playing. I think that they could let him start his bye, put Wade Wilson in, put Jason Garrett in, one of them.
21 out of 30, 222 yards. 2 touchdowns for Emmitt Smith, 1 for Darrell Johnson, a win for Barry Switzer. Williams to the 20. Before they run another play, we'll get the 2-minute warning. The Chargers are out of timeouts. Dallas has 2 left, but that doesn't matter.
And Troy Aikman is walking over to the sideline slowly. He can't even do that with Matzell.
Don't forget, following football, space above and beyond. 2 minutes left, 23-9 at Murphy Stadium. San Diego scored first on a safety, but Aikman was tackled in the end zone. Then the Cowboys went ahead, taking advantage of the Chargers' turnovers. Emmitt Smith scored twice, short runs. Then Darrell Johnson, the 3rd Cowboy touchdown with a short run. Boniol with a field goal. That's been it. Sherman Williams.
Yeah, we were talking about with the score 23-9, a minute 52 seconds, why Troy Aikman is still in there, and the answer is probably because he's Troy Aikman.
Yep.
And I'm sure that someone said, okay, let's let Wade Wilson finish this game out or something, and he said no. He said, I started it, I'm in here, I'll finish it.
We got a break coming up.
Yeah,
I'll be well.
Yeah, knowing him, I mean, he's hard-headed. I mean, I'm sure that someone thought it, and he said, no, he'll do it his way. I got us in this thing, and I'll get us out and finish us up.
3rd and 4. Sherman Williams again. Cuts back. Will not get the first down. Stopped by Junior Seau. Those two expected to play against Atlanta when the Cowboys get back into action. Deion Sanders and Darren Smith. And to an already fine quality team, you add this guy.
Yeah, this was Deion before the game. He came out here. He was getting cheers here in the pregame warm-ups. He came out here before the Cowboys did and did this kind of exercise. And he still doesn't look like to me that ankle is not tender.
Well, it's got to be after surgery.
Yeah, and but as someone said, Deion Sanders on one ankle is. Ernie Zampese said it. The best corner he's ever seen on one ankle.
And when you get Darren Smith back, the ball comes loose, the scramble for it. It's 4th down anyway. Junior Seau. You had really 2 really high-quality players to an already good football team.
Junior Seau, I think, has been a very frustrating day for him because they wanted to stop the Cowboys and they just weren't able to do it. There's his wife Gina, who was due yesterday. In fact, they know what the baby is. The baby is a boy. They already have him named. His name is Jake Ryan Seau.
J.R.
J.R., yeah. So there'll be 2 juniors, junior and junior.
And they'll call him J.R. Gilbert throws it to Papunu. Papunu to the 42. First down Chargers, but they have no timeouts. And the clock running with now 10 seconds left to play, and Dallas will defeat the San Diego Chargers unless they stop the clock right here, and they're still going to defeat them no matter what they do. 1 second to go.
The old fake throw down.
Here it comes.
And he faked his own guys. His own guys didn't even run out for a pattern. He just had one guy going out. The old fake throwdown. Boy, that didn't work.
No.
They forgot to run a pattern and they forgot to block.